going to have an amazing guest today. She wacha tumpake mafuta kidogo. Before she tells us who she is in details, I know she is an award-winning multimedia journalist.
That's right.
Yeah, she is the executive director of AMWIK, Association of Media Journalists in Kenya. Media Association of Media
Women
in Kenya. Yeah, she is an amazing and if you follow her work, then you know she is really amazing at what she does. And women have been going through so much in the media space.
That's right.
Not just in the media space, just women in general have been going through a lot. And today, we know that AMWIK deals with such problems and helping the women to navigate and know how to deal with such problems and how to report and how to navigate through.
Yeah.
So today, she'll be telling us more about that and how the women in media, you guys, she's here fighting for you.
Yeah, that's right.
And how you guys can be able to move around and navigate in the media industry so that you guys feel as part of the, the big movement. Yeah. So karibu sana.
Thank you so much for coming. Hapa tunapenda wageni sana.
Kabisa.
And there's also one thing, madam, before we even get into interview that I always do. I told them, actually, they all know here in the studio that maybe my greetings itakuwa Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
So sahi bado tunasalimia watu Happy New Year. So Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Enjoy anasemanga bibi salamu zangu aziishi za New Year. Kitu tanitoa salamu ni Pasaka peke yake.
Wewe ni Mruya.
Bado tuko January. Paka 31st.
Yes.
But again, actually, we are so excited that January is finally ending after so many days. Anasemanga January inakuanga na siku mingi sana kushinda hizo.
But it felt short this time, right?
Well, it depends on how you look at it.
Exactly.
Kama unalipa school fees na unalipa SHA na unalipa housing levy, ilikuwa refu.
That is exactly what I told him.
Kesho unalipa school fees gani?
No, school fees, but sasa mimi ni mlala hoi. Sina langu.
Okay.
Anyway, we're so honored for coming. We're so excited to have you here in the studio. We're talking about maybe unpacking realities that women go through in the media industry and just media at large. And thank you so much for coming. Actually, we are so honored and so excited for this conversation that we are supposed to have just in a few minutes. So with us in the studio, in case you're joining us right now, is the executive director of AMWIK, that is the Association of Media Women, Association of Media Women in Kenya. Madam Quinta Mbori, karibu sana.
Asante.
So maybe if you just start by unpacking what AMWIK is and maybe just telling us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Asanteni sana Kish and Andy, thank you for the warm welcome. Najua Mombasani kuna joto lakini hapa kwa studio tuko tu sawa. The vibe is amazing and congratulations. I mean, I'm inspired. I was actually telling some of my friends when I was coming here that apart from, coming to do the interview, I'm actually coming to learn.
Yes.
Because in the industry right now, media organizations are going through the most, but I can see you're resilient, you're going, and it's amazing. And to see young people, running the show, literally, it is so inspiring. So first of all, is just to congratulate you, congratulate your management. And this is what inspires us. This is what makes us wake up every morning to ensure that the industry keeps going. So my name is Quinta Mbori. My good friends, the ones who know me kwa kindani, wananiita Queen. I'm a multimedia journalist, cha kwanza, with over 15 years experience, both in Kenya, also in the region. I have worked in one of the mainstream media organizations in this country. I was at the Standard Group for almost 10 years. As not a reporter, as a sub-editor, as a digital editor, as a mentor, as a host of a TV talk show, And so it's so inspiring that at least nikiona kina Kisha panasikia kama yani.
And I feel so good being in the presence of a legendary,
Yes,
really nice. It's really nice to see that, you guys are keeping the industry going. I'm an award-winning gender equality advocate. I'm extremely passionate about creating an enabling environment for women. Sorry, men. It's not it's not personal. It's just that when you look at the prevailing circumstances, the industries and society in general is not favorable to women. Now, for women in the media, it's a totally different ball game. I'm also a certified trainer by the Media Council of Kenya, and I have trained and mentored journalists in Kenya, in East Africa, in Nigeria, in Africa. So for me, it's all about imparting the skills that I have acquired to the next generation. I'm very passionate about training, actually, because one thing about journalism is when you come from school, you're taught, just the basic skills of how to be a journalist, but you rarely get the chance to be taught how to specialize, how to report on maybe gender sensitive, gender transformative reporting, how to do investigative reporting, how to do, reporting on nature crimes, illicit financial flows. There's very little time to do the specialization. So when you come out of the training schools, out here now we give you the tools and the skills on how to specialize. I'm also a mentor of many journalists, especially the young ones. I've been through my hands. Some of them are doing extremely well. I'm very proud of that. So that's me in a nutshell. Currently, I am honored to serve at the Association of Media Women in Kenya as Executive Director. AMWIK is the national association for all women in the media in this country. So anyone who is not a member of AMWIK, maybe this is where you play to them the song Uko Wapi, where are you? That's right. Uko Wapi, jamani, we are looking for you. We need to partner. You need to link up with us, because what AMWIK does is we pool our resources and our skills and our networks, and we use that force to amplify the issues that affect women, youth, and children, because these are the communities that we feel are underserved by the media. They're not given enough space, they're not given enough airtime, because what media does is media reflects what happens in society, and so society has, for one reason or the other, has discriminated these constituencies of people. So AMWIK is the voice of the voiceless in society, and therefore we are reaching out to all women in the media across the nation that please join us, work with us, let us collaboratively pool our efforts. We will support you, and we are also relying on you to help us amplify all these issues that we are talking about. Our membership is by registration, so it is not automatic that if you are a woman in the media, you are a member of AMWIK. You have to register, and registration is by paying a small fee of about 3,000 annually for 12 months, for 352 days. Okay, that is for mainstream, for seasoned journalists. Now we also have student membership, which is 1,500. We also have members in media and related fields. These are people in communications and PR. We have members in media training institutions. Lecturers are also our members. Media professionals, content creators. Jamani, mko wapi? Mko wapi? Tunawaomba mji muweze come and join us. Before I hand back the mic, please allow me to talk about the thematic areas that AMWIK operates under. We focus on media development and membership. Basically, this involves capacitating journalists. And Andy, hapa ndi pia tunachangamsha mpaka wanaume. If you look at our website and you follow our socials, utagundua kwamba we do not discriminate when it comes to training. We train everyone.
Yes.
We train male journalists, we train female journalists. So we capacitate them so that they are ready, because when you look at the nature of society, information keeps evolving. There are new things coming up every other day. Right now, everyone's talking about artificial intelligence. Next, we'll be talking about, climate action. So there's always new information. So what AMWIK does is we are constantly equipping journalists to be ready so that they can undertake their constitutional role, which is to inform society. You see, the role of a journalist is critical, and that is why we are even called the fourth estate, because we inform the public. A society that does not have press freedom is a blind society. They don't even know what is happening. So information is critical for any government. So journalists and media professionals, they need to be adequately informed. So we believe at AMWIK that constantly we are always doing training on various thematic areas. Over and above that, when the resources allow, we also support journalists by granting them, we give them some resources to undertake their responsibility. Now, after media development, we focus on women's economic empowerment, which is basically pesa mkononi. They say when a woman is economically empowered, society is sorted. Kila mtu will have a quality lifestyle, and everything will flow. We also focus on gender and governance. And if you look at our projects, we work very closely with women in leadership. The question is why? Because we want to ensure that at the tables where decisions are being made, we are represented. The mandate of AMWIK extends beyond the membership, and we focus also on women who are covered in the news and by the media. And we believe that when we empower our leaders, when they go to the places in the rooms where critical decisions are being made about the governance of this country, then everyone is covered. So we work very closely with the women leaders, women politicians, women human rights activists. We capacitate them. We teach them on branding. We also push for policies and laws that ensure that the decisions that are being made are all inclusive and no woman is left behind. We also work around sexual reproductive health and rights. And finally, we focus on digital safety and security. I'm sure we'll talk more about that. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. That is
very
I'm just excited. I'm also inspired. I'm a man, but I'm also getting inspired very well. I'm also a multimedia journalist as well. And hearing your story, it's so inspiring. So maybe how long has AMWIK been around?
AMWIK ni mzee. Wanasemanga life begins at if life begins at 40, then AMWIK is 3 years old. So we've been around since 1982. That's around the time when people were talking about the Beijing Declaration. So basically a group of courageous women were not comfortable with the way media was covering women. There was still a lot of sexism. There was underrepresentation. Women were not getting enough airtime. And so they came together to form AMWIK to amplify issues affecting women. And since 1982, AMWIK has impacted thousands of women. Some of them are actually, we know them. They are notable politicians. We have members like Lesuda from Samburu, the people like Lina Chebi. These are people who have benefited somehow through the activities and programs of AMWIK, and many other women in the media. In fact, I'm very proud when I see media professionals, women stepping up from the profession to serve, in national politics, because, it means I go to sleep very happy knowing that at least we were able to influence and impact one person or the other. Yeah.
Very amazing. Unajua amesema kwamba AMWIK imekuwa hapa for 40 years. Like more than 40 years. That is almost the age of my mother.
That's right.
And Madam Executive Director, you understand that you assumed the role of Executive Director in 2024, right? And it was at this time where this AMWIK was at a crossroad where a decision made would either determine determine whether AMWIK would remain stable or continue maybe having challenges. And it was at this time where there was actually internal tension and governance challenges. So how did you maybe go through this, or how did you navigate through this time of your life?
In my book, this is the first point where I say in my book, but honestly speaking, AMWIK, just like all other media associations and media organizations for that matter, have faced a lot of internal challenges. And I think the only reason why perhaps the issues of AMWIK were extremely amplified, it is because AMWIK is an association of women. Okay? So obviously, just like what we see in society, and I believe I'd put that disclaimer out there, that the society we live in is extremely patriarchal. And therefore, if you look at even how women in leadership are treated in this country, they are judged more harshly compared to the male counterparts. So it's not like AMWIK's problems or issues or challenges were really over the top. They are normal challenges that every other organization goes through. Even our own country has its own challenges. However, I think the only difference that AMWIK had is that our issues were extremely amplified and we were trending for the wrong reasons. Because right now, when we have stabilized the ship, why aren't we getting the same amount of coverage, when it comes to, the same people, the same weight that we were being amplified for the challenges? Why can't we be amplified for, the success stories? But back to your question. When I took the helm of AMWIK in 2024, it was one of the biggest challenges of my life. Because I took over when AMWIK was having internal issues, but they are solvable. And therefore, for me as a leader, you don't run away from challenges. You take them head on. You come in, you assess where the problems are, and you look for quick solutions. And if going by what we did, because all we needed was just to rectify a few things here and there, including establishing a legit constitution, which we did. Last year in June, we held our board meeting, and now we have new board members. By the way, Kish, we even have Gen Zs sitting on our board. Okay. And of course, we just needed to do a bit of work around rebranding and engaging our members to ensure that we are able to listen to them, because sometimes when you have internal wrangles, it is people are actually communicating something very loudly. So we also took our time, worked with the experts, and we engaged our members. We listened to them. We came up with a membership engagement strategy. We had a dialogue with the members. And what that resulted in is what we are experiencing right now, because what needed to be done was just get down to understand the issues that members were facing and tackle them. I wouldn't say that we have dealt with them 100%, but given the strategy that we have implemented, we are implementing. AMWIK is regaining its glory. AMWIK is regaining the confidence of the public. And AMWIK is actually working now to execute its vision. So I would say that I did not do it alone. I was working with my secretariat, with my team members. I was working with my members. I was working with my board. So it took team effort, and of course engaging a few experts to ensure that AMWIK remained afloat. So our enemies
Suffering.
we will continue suffering. AMWIK is here to stay. AMWIK will be here to serve not only us but generations to come.
That is very amazing. And you also mentioned that you actually have a new board of directors, so maybe just elaborate briefly how this has helped you reach your goals. Unajua, when you are assuming a role, unajua company pia iko na organization iko na vision yake na mission, but sasa pia wewe as an individual you're also coming there with something that you really want to achieve or want to change. So maybe how did this board help you achieve that?
Okay, so having a new board, because AMWIK is actually governed by a constitution. I think that should be very clear. We have we follow certain protocols. So for me, it was just doing the right thing. We needed to have the new board in place. Perhaps the process had dragged for one reason or the other, but just to be legal was very critical for me. And then now, once that is in place, because what we worked on actually was just to rectify a few internal structures, and having that in mind and having a new board, it became very easy now for us to just follow the expectations of the constitution and also uphold our policies. So remember, my role is very critical because I am the go-between the board, the members, and our stakeholders. So what the trick that has worked for us is just collaboration. And I thank my members for working with us to ensure that we are able to elect the new board. It was not easy. But after the election of the new board, of course, we have a strategic plan which we are implementing. So everything is already structured. So the board just come in to do their oversight role and to offer support and to give direction. So I would say that it's taken a lot of work, a lot of training, not just for the members of the secretariat, but also for the board members, for us to fully understand our separation of responsibilities and the expectations. But ultimately, how we have done this is just to work together. We are always in constant communication. We are always planning. And we are also engaging, partners out there. AMWIK's door is always open. We are ready to partner. We are ready to work together to implement our vision and mission.
All right, that is really amazing. Let us look at AMWIK. You said it's been around since 1982, almost 40 years. And you've been fighting for the women in the traditional media. But how has that evolved from fighting for the women's space in the traditional media room to the digital space? Because just to add on that, there was a time the first female Chief Justice Martha Koome. There was a time she was attacked online. She was bombarded with a lot in the social media. So how has this translated to protecting the female journalist in the media space, in the digital space?
Thank you for that. That's a very good question. One of AMWIK's thematic areas is actually digital safety and security. And the reason we do this is because we actually are cognizant of the fact that media is constantly evolving. Secondly, we are also cognizant of the fact that the digital space is perhaps one of the best things that has ever happened for women in the media. Why do I say so? It's because when you look at mainstream media, and when I talk about mainstream, I'm talking about Gazeti, TV, as we always knew it. I remember my children think that TV is YouTube, but TV kwa wale ambao wamekuwa wakonge ilianza kitambo sana, during the days when we would only switch on the television at 4 p.m. because kutoka asubuhi mpaka saa 10 hakuna chochote, ni mchele tu ndio watu walikuwa naona. So the mainstream media, you look at the composition of the mainstream media, look at the representation of women in leadership, kusema ukweli, it is gender biased. Most media organizations, most editorial leadership is male dominated. And breaking the glass ceiling in the media house, I can tell you, is not easy. We tried. Some of us tried. We gave up, because when you get to a certain level, and then your career sort of halts. It stops. So what the digital space has offered, for example, is an opportunity for women to grow career-wise. Because when you are in the digital space, as long as you have a phone and you have internet, honestly, you have no excuse for not having some form of digital product, whether it is a YouTube channel, whether it is a blog, whether it is, a community on any of the social media spaces. So AMWIK has understood that the digital space is actually very critical for the growth and the progression of women in the media. And so what we do is we conduct a lot of training for journalists on media sustainability and how they can brand themselves and how they can also equip themselves for life beyond the newsroom. Okay? Unfortunately, the digital space is also the avenue that has also proven to be a source of attack for journalists, women in the limelight, including lawyers, like what happened to Chief Justice Martha Koome, human rights activists, the so-called social media influencers. So we did a research in 2024 on, it's called Technology Facilitated Gender-Based Violence on Women with Public Prominent Lives. And if you look, the reason why we were doing this, one is because we wanted to know what is the extent. Because, when you do evidence-based research, you're able to understand, you get to the bottom of the issues, as opposed to just hearsay. Sometimes people just talk. But when you're able to get actual data on the issues at hand, then it becomes very easy even to come up with the adequate interventions. It's like, I'll give you an example. You could be, when you were younger, if you had a headache or you experienced some form of symptoms, you'd be given malaria queen without diagnosis, kwa sababu walikuwa nafikiria kuna malaria. But not it didn't mean that you are always suffering from malaria. So ni kama kukua mgonjwa, unasikia tu jisikii, lakini mtu anakuambia hebu enda umeze Brufen. Wanasema enda umeze Brufen. Okay? So for us, research and data collection is very important. So we did this research to get to understand the extent of TFGBV happening, not just to our stakeholders, but women with public prominent lives. And from the research findings, set tulikuwa mbali, 60% of those who were interviewed had experienced some form of technology facilitated gender-based violence. So at AMWIK, what we do now is we conduct training on how journalists can actually navigate the digital space safely. We equip them with information around their safety. Apart from that, we have resources on our website. For example, we have a digital safety and security handbook. If you go to www.amwik.org right now, go to our page on resources, please download that digital safety and security handbook. It is good for you understand what digital safety is and how you can take care of yourself. All right. And we also, what we do is we have various forums where we are able to just discuss the issues, brainstorm together with journalists and the stakeholders in the industry, lawyers, those who are in charge of data protection, those who take care of our data and information. And so we sit together to just brainstorm on how we can strengthen the legal frameworks in this country, how we can ensure that they are working for our journalists and not the other way around. So the digital space is, what I can say is, it's a good space, but if you go there when you're not properly armed, then we have seen people completely get out of that space, including the former president Uhuru Kenyatta. He quit he said wacha niende nikae nyumbani na familia yangu because Kenyans bullied him. So if Kenyans can bully the president, what about a mere journalist? What about a woman or a female journalist?
And many people have said that online abuse is just an abuse, is not a crime. So how can we change this mindset that has normalized this online harassment?
I'm glad you brought that up because even our research revealed that 40% of those who were interviewed, they said that online abuse is wrong, but it's not a crime. And I think it's because watu wanachukulia tu mambo hivi unajua, you know, it's the same thing even with sexual harassment. Ukiona vile watu wanaongelelea on the social media platform, it's like a joke. You know, mtu anakuambia mbona huyo mama she brought it on herself. Okay. I'm currently following a very controversial topic on there's a lady whose pictures or photos were circulated against her will. And now there's a lot of victim blaming because I gather she leads a certain lifestyle. But you see, it doesn't, whether she is, I'm going to use this word, whether she is a prostitute or not, she does not deserve to be abused.
Right.
Okay? She doesn't deserve to be abused because abuse is abuse. We cannot enforce a law by breaking a law. Okay? So online harassment has been trivialized. It's like a small thing, you know. In fact, when you look at our research, the platforms that online abuse happens the most ni WhatsApp na Facebook. Na unajua WhatsApp it's the one that propagates intimate partner violence kwa sababu wewe wakati your significant other is abusing you, you cannot tell it to the world. Kwa sababu it's very intimate. Naona. But those are the platforms that are actually enabling the abusers, the Facebooks, the WhatsApp. And so we're having conversations. I'm glad that you really brought that question. You're having conversations with the big tech organizations. I'm glad that at least we've initiated that process where we are talking about how do we do mass digital literacy? How do we empower Kenyans so that they're able to know that what they're doing is abuse? You see, sometimes there's this thing we call forwarded as received. Mtu anakutumia message kwa WhatsApp. Ukiona hiyo message labda kuna mtoto pale who is being defiled. Lakini wewe unashinda ukisukumia watu because you think you're being patriotic. You think you're doing a responsibility to the society, but what you're doing is you're endangering the life of this child. Because what happens? Because the internet doesn't forget. What happens when this child who's being defiled grows up, becomes of age, and then they are bullied because of what happened to them, even when they were not even consciously aware that what was happening was wrong. So there is need, one, for digital literacy. Watu waelimishwe, wajue abuse ni nini, misinformation ni nini, TFGBV ni nini. And then two, we also have to ensure that our laws are able to support, are able to ensure that the survivors of TFGBV and any form of abuse get justice.
Thank you so much for that beautiful elaboration. And I wanted to say something. As much as the advent of technology has actually made our work easier, in some way it has actually diminished the press freedom. Unajua, like ile exposure to online criticism and harassment, it reminded me of a certain situation. Kuna a certain time, a very prominent journalist in Kenya was actually set to interview the president. And then the poster was, unajua, inakuwa posted pale online. Then people were like, that role could have been given to so-and-so. You know, the so-and-so was actually a man. And the excuse that they use is that, atakuja tu kuonyesha na makeup and hakuna kitu ya maana atakuwa anauliza president. So, you know, it's really sad. It's really sad that the technology that is supposed to make our work easy is actually inakuwa press freedom inakuwa diminished and like exposing ladies or maybe the female journalists to some kind of criticism.
You're listening to Blue Radio, bringing the vibe.